Thank you, Riv. Series time. We're going to Game 5.
Yep.
I mean, I'm excited. I don't know if you guys are excited. We're all wrong, but we're excited, which is great. Let's break this down. First, let's talk about the fact that C9 drops the Urgot ban.
Yeah.
They pick Corki into it, and it plays pretty well, right? I wouldn't say it was like an overwhelming, win for High in the mid lane, but it plays pretty well, and that's got to bode well for them going into Champion Select in Game 5 here, knowing that they can drop that and still keep that Azir ban, which kind of threw them for such a loop in Game 2.
Yeah, I actually want to see Team Liquid finally make adaptations. Chat was talking about it in picks and ban, or he's talking about the ban specifically after the game, saying, well, C9 just keeps loosening it up. Like, you know what? You can have Urgot. You can have Lulu. Oh, we're still beating this. This is great. I want to see Team Liquid adapt. I understand the plan of their bans. They're banning the carry top laners. They're banning the carry junglers. Well, guess what? The tank tops, the tank junglers are working anyway. How about you start pressuring High again, right? You saw what happened when High got outlaned. Phoenix hard carried the team. I want to see this stressed again. This is one of the cleanest wins that Team Liquid had, was when they got to win the mid lane matchup. I want to see them emphasize this.
And I actually like what Team Liquid's doing. What C9's doing with pressuring the lane that Sneaky's in once again. Yeah. And then Meteos, every time he had a free moment, he'd show up middle. And Dom did put some pressure middle, but Meteos and him basically showed up at the same time every time from that mid lane. And
they put balls on that Maokai. He plays it well, that point-and-click target tank. We saw in that last fight there.
Oh,
my goodness. That's those attack speed runes there doing work, right? Just heal after heal after heal. And yeah, it does seem that this top lane tank form is working out, so they're okay now. Cloud9 has found a little comfort in not having to put him on a carry. They can put that weight onto Ball's shoulder, get High on something that he can make a little bit of an impact with. And Meteos, too, with the playmaking abilities from the Gragas ult and things like that. You see Cloud9 on your screen right here, tying it up 2-2. I mean, what is this conversation like right now? You're going into Game 5. There's a lot of hype around this. How do you in terms of what you're going to do, right, in terms of picks and bans is one thing. How you're going to keep your emotions in check is another. And then how you're going to execute mechanically is a third. I mean, there's so much pressure on this game right now. They've never not made a finals.
Well, Zion touched on it before. Momentum is huge. Cloud9 just won the last 2 games back-to-back. They're coming into this full swing. They're very confident. And also, they're blue side right now, so they can actually drop their Hecarim ban. They can pick that up first pick. They've shown that if they leave Sejuani, Lulu, Urgot open, they have answers to it. So Cloud9's conversation's probably a lot more optimistic right now than Liquid's.
Yeah, I have to wonder then, and Zion, I'm going to throw this to you. When we look over on Liquid's side, do they just get rid of that Corki? Or do they pick it in their first rotation, rather? If they give up the Hecarim, do they just get rid of that Corki? Because as Freak mentioned, maybe the trick is getting High onto an uncomfortable champion and setting up a good matchup for Phoenix in the mid lane.
Well, I think like the 2 winning formulas for C9 this whole series has been get High on that comfort champion where he can pressure and be relevant. And that's Corki right now. I think Corki is his best champion right now. And Team Liquid should not let him get that champion. And another thing that's happening is there's that fight between like the bottom lanes, like Sneaky and Lemon and Piglet and Special, and it's which jungler can pressure more. And you're seeing Meteos just come out on top and getting the ganks off, getting Sneaky rolling, and it's really paying off. And you're seeing them snowball the game from that bottom lane advantage, while High is just on that consistent mid laner, Corki, who's so hard to push out.
Yeah, and I think actually there is a lot of onus on Team Liquid to get ahead in lanes, because C9, to their credit, have managed to keep their heads clear throughout the series. Their shot calling has largely been very strong. Their overall map plays, they're just a little bit faster. They're a little bit ahead of Team Liquid over and over again. They're constantly creating pressure. Right, those Baron plays are really tough calls, and yet all those Baron calls have been right. Every single C9 Baron call, they got Baron. They more or less get out cleanly. They could have chosen to get out of the fight sooner, but like every single Baron call has been good. C9 are sharp, and they're making good calls.
They're very crisp, too, because the Baron, Team Liquid shows up like 2-3 seconds afterwards.
Yes.
It's just so quick, and the fact that everybody's respecting the shot call and going for it immediately.
We've got Liquid on your screen here. Let's kind of touch on maybe what their conversation is like in response to this clean C9 rotation.
Right, so what I was going for here is the onus is on Team Liquid to win in their lanes. They need to get these matchups that are good. They need to say, look, you know what? Like you're seeing the early 80 carry picks, right? Like the Lucian first round for C9 last game. You're seeing him getting Corki. Yes, tax High's champion pool, remove his comfort champions here, make these lanes go well, because when you go to the mid-game rotational play, if you're not outclassing them composition-wise, it's not going to be good for Team Liquid.
Zion,
find the lanes.
CLG, one of the other teams that is praised for their rotational game, their ability to win games without having to take too many fights. Cloud9 has clearly illustrated that they can do the same thing. So Team Liquid here, is this a warding issue? When we talk about these Baron calls, you actually mentioned that C9 loves to do this. Every time a team goes for Dragon when you're about 25, 30 minutes of the game, C9 will just put the pressure on the Baron. How do you avoid that?
Well, I mean, that's always a strategy C9 goes for, where it's like, oh, when the third Dragon is up, like, let's just go for Baron. And I feel like C9 as a whole, their communication is just better than Team Liquid's. Like, they've been a team for like 3 years. I mean, they're down 0-2. Everybody's like, is C9 just going to lose again? Are they going to get 3-0'd for the first time? But no, they just came back because they're a team that's kept the same roster for 2 years. And they just work so well together, and you really see that coming out.
So you just saw Dominate on your screen talking quite a bit, and I think we have to look to him as one of the players on this team. We talk so often about how emotionally charged he is, and that he's an emotional player, right? When things are going well, he gets hyped, he gets pumped, and that kind of, emanates from him to his teammates, and they perform better as a team. I think a lot's going to be riding on both him and Xpecial as two of the veterans and two of the more emotionally charged players to really get their team rolling here in this 5th game.
Yeah, it's really interesting, the dynamic of Team Liquid right now, because again, Mark told me this in the morning. He's like, yeah, if we win game 1, the mental block is gone. We feel like we can beat Team Liquid here. Sorry, we feel like we can beat C9. And I was like, okay, the big leaders for that are Piglet and Phoenix. And they were, right? Game 1 and 2 were carried by Piglet and Phoenix, respectively. And then you start falling back, and you're right, it comes down to the veterans here, like, guys, come on, we know we can do this. And this is now the new mental block for Team Liquid, by the way, is we did this last split. We did the 2-0 to 0-3. Like, here's the new mental block of, are you guys going to choke in game 5 again?
Right. And this, so yeah, it's kind of like familiar territory for Team Liquid, but it's unfamiliar territory for C9 still. I mean, they are fighting their way back from this 0-2 deficit. Again, I'm speaking in terms of the NALCS. As we know, they've gone to Worlds and played 5-game series there.
Well, they played 5 in the finals as well last time against TSM.
Yeah, starting down 0-2, though, in the semifinals is not a position they've ever been in.
Sure.
Yeah.
So, regardless, when we look at C9, right, they're in territory that is a little bit unfamiliar to them, but they're on their way back. Momentum's in their favor here, right? So let's look at what they need to do. Like, we so often say, Zion, you were mentioning that you kind of do what works until the other team beats it. Are you willing to risk it all there on the 5th game that you just repeat the same strategy? Or do you feel like game 5 asks for something special?
I feel like they might change something up, but I feel like Team Liquid is a team that does not play very well when like the momentum is not on their side. Like, I think Piglet, Dom, and Phoenix are all very emotional players, and I feel like this game 5 is going to be really rough for Team Liquid.
Yeah.
All right.
You could even see in the body language there, that's a lot of things that have changed very rapidly. Before they were very confident. There you could see a lot of uncertainty, a lot of second guessing going on there in the body language.
I think momentum is kind of the name of the game here, and whether or not these players can get themselves mentally prepared for this 5th game. The series is all tied up, and when we come back, we'll learn who will advance to the playoff finals with the all-important game 5 between Cloud9 and Team Liquid. The action continues in just 3.5.
We got this shit. We can come back.
I have faith in the light. I mean, if we win 2 more games, it's like nothing ever happened.
Wait, what do you mean come back? In our last game, we are undefeated. Okay.
Nice ult.
Okay.
Koroki. I got him. Okay, you can go. Janna go here. Flash. Go.
Nice Monsoon, but it pushes Cloud9 actually towards Phoenix a little bit more. He tries to stay alive. Meteor should take him down.
Are we getting Sejuani?
We have to peel, we have to peel.
Yo, I got
Urgot. Kill Urgot. Get him. Sejuani.
Yeah, I'm going.
Janna.
He says, leave me here, I'm a tree. But I think he's going down there. Nobody even wants to enter this fight except for Meteos.
Whoa,
Meteos is here. 2 games for Team Liquid. Then Cloud9 brings 2 of their own to the table, and we got a game 5.